for a few days, traveling around, riding our supporters here in the diaspora. So my time here has been very good. The family is doing good as well. I've been following up with families back in Liberia as well as coordinating activities in Liberia. So I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, I feel honored being here with you all. Um, Gongo is my former, he was my colleague back in the day at LU. A very a stand-up guy. We all admire him greatly. He was one of the guy we held in high esteem, even while we were still students. I used to call him Dr. Fofana's protege because Dr. Fofana, one of the astounding professors, took a special interest in him, and he was nurturing him as we were coming up. So thank you for that, and now we'll go to Madame Anna Wande Haba to give us a little background of all the candidates. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eastman. We are glad to be here this evening. Thank you to Focus on Africa for hosting us and to be able to share with you this evening. The reason for which we are here, as Mr. Eastman rightly said, we are here with the Better Liberia campaign. We say a better Liberia is possible. And a better Liberia is possible with whom? With Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. Now, when we talk about a better Liberia is possible, the very first thing we want to project here is what does Liberia really need right now in order to be able to have this better Liberia that we are all talking about. And what we bring forth to you this evening, Liberia, is a sound leadership. Dr. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo believe that a sound leadership is what Liberia needs right now, and this is what they are here to give to Liberia. And a sound leadership, what does a sound leadership lead to? A sound leadership, of course, leads to a great nation. We want to know the characteristics of a great nation. We want to present that nation to you, and that's Liberia. How can we have this great nation? It's through a sound leadership that we are longing for right now, that we are crying for. The nationhood of Liberia is all that we have, and this is all that we need right now, a sound leadership. We want to talk a little bit about this sound leadership that leads to a great nation. What are the characteristics, of course, of a great nation? We have a great nation is the one that has justice. A great nation has freedom. A great nation values life. A great nation believes in excellence. A great nation is that nation that has morality. A great nation is the nation that stands up in the world. Of course, a great nation is a nation that has stewardship. And we talk more about excellence. Then when we come with these leaders that we have this evening to present to you, this is Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. What do they want for Liberia? Of course, is this great nation that they want to see. This is the nation. This is the leadership they want to bring forth in this nation. And when we look at all of what these leaders stand for and all of what they have promoted in their own life, you see that they are voting for equal rights. This is not going to be a time where, because you live in Monrovia, you have equal rights more than the person who lives in Maryland. No, it's not going to be that way. It's going to be equal rights for those who live in Monrovia and those who live in Maryland, for those who live in Monrovia, for those who live in River G, for those who live in Monrovia, for those who live in Sanu, for those who live in Monrovia, for those who live in Grand Gile, for those who live in Morovia, that's Masurado, and for those who live in Nimba. Equal rights for those who live in Masurado and for those who live in Bond County. Equal rights for those who live in Masurado, for those who live in Bapolu. Equal rights for those who live in Masurado, for those who live in Lufa. These leaders are promoting this. Another thing is equal protection. It's not going to be equal protection. There's not going to be protection for only a few. It's going to be for all. And again, equal opportunities. Those are the kind of things these leaders are promoting. I'm talking about Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. They're going to stand against corruption. In our country, we know how bad corruption is to a nation. It's just like a cancer. It continues to proliferate. There's no end to that until it destroys. Nations that have been destroyed today from corruption. These leaders will stand against corruption in Liberia to be able to give Liberia that great nationhood. And these leaders will stand against division. We are not going to have division. No, I'm not from Grand Gile. I'm from Masurado. No, it's going to be, we are from Liberia. We are Liberians, and Liberia deserves to be the great nation we want to live in, not seeking refuge continuously in other people's country. We can have a great land that we can all enjoy all of these that have been promised to us. Equal protection, equal opportunities, equal rights, no division. These leaders will stand against incompetence. Liberia will be represented on the world stage. We will be incompetent, able to participate in every opportunity like every citizen of any other country we can think about in the world. This leadership is going to stand against bad governance. This is what these leaders bring to you. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. They are going to speak against and stand against the misuse of public funds. Public funds should be used for the population, for the nation, not for the benefit of an individual in order to be able to hold on to power. These leaders will stand against that in Liberia. These leaders will stand against the abuse of power. This is what they bring to the table. And like I said before, it's not going to be just Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He's going to be teaming up with Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. And then the question is going to come, as we always ask, is this another void promise? Are we getting it again? We've heard this before. Are we getting another one? No. No. Let me tell you again who Councillor Tiawan Gongloe is. You might have known him for some time. You know him personally. You know him maybe as your professor at the university, but we have known him nationally in some ways. He's a poor man lawyer. I think we are all aware of that when we talk about Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He's a man of his word. He's a man of integrity. He doesn't just say it. You know him to be one of Liberia's renowned lawyers. And there are evidences to prove, not just me saying it to you. You also know him as the former president of the National Bar Association. Then, of course, to some students that are watching, the associate professor of law at Louis Arthur Grange School of Law. Yes, I would like to bring this forth, not just what I'm saying, but when you look at the article that was written sometimes in the Daily Observer in October of 2022, If you are able to pull that out from online and read it, I would like to read exactly what is said in that article about Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. It says, no Liberian alive has done more for the masses than Tiawan Gongloe when it comes to defending the voiceless. I'm not just saying this to you, but it's in that article, is read out. Besides knowing him as an associate professor, besides knowing him as the former president of the Bar Association, besides knowing him as the renowned human rights lawyer, this is another confirmation whereby he's been referred to as one of the persons that have done so much for the voiceless. It continues, I may not be able to read everything. It says he gives attention to strict adherence to the rule of law. That's another characteristic of Councillor Tiawan Gongloe right there. He fights for justice. Remember when I was just naming to you the characteristics of a great nation, I mentioned about justice. A great nation is that nation that has justice. And it says he tackles corruption. Is in that article, is someone else that is projecting that to you. And I wanted to bring that in as a confirmation. He promises to build a new nation, a new governance. That's what he brings to the Liberian people. He's going to promote decentralization. This is not going to be the time where someone has to move from River G to go to Monrovia before they go to the university. Move from Grand Gila and go to Monrovia before they go to the university, or to communicate with someone abroad. These amenities will be right in your backyard. You will have access to them. This is what Councillor Tiawan Gongloe is bringing to the Liberian people. He is going to promote inclusion. There's no way you can be left behind. Everyone is going to be involved. He's not just, that's what competence is about. He's not just going to make decisions for you, but Liberia, you are going to be in the decisions that Councillor Tiawan Gongloe makes for you. And you are going to be part of this decision. Gender sensitivity. No one is going to be out. Men are not going to say, like we commonly say in Liberia, "Mama, your way is not woman thing here. All the men have to come together." No, it's going to be all of us in it, because the decision affects us in every way possible. And guess what? He's not going to do it alone. Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo is going to do it with him. Look at this. A man from a very modest background, also as a Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo is from a little town, Gomu, in Bon County, close to the Guinean border. Another thing, Dr. Yarkparwolo, he was about 2 years old when his mother died. But when you look at his life, it is remarkable. He's going to see your children through his life. When you think about a mother's love, a child losing the mother at 2 years old, and look, he learned to do many things that he could have just settled down. He learned how to farm. He learned how to fish. He learned how to cut palm nuts. He learned even some work to be like a blacksmith also. He learned a whole lot of things from his dad. You know what he could have done to be satisfied where he was? Maybe marry 5 wives and just stay in the village, or stay in Gomu and be maybe the town chief. But he did not do that. He looked forward as someone that will represent the nation, someone that will guide the way, someone that our children will follow after. He continued school. Even in the refugee life, he continued school when his dad even told that, where will we get the funds for you to continue? In refugee life, it's a free school. But when we go to Liberia, there will be no more free school. We have to pay tuition. But you know what he told his dad? He has a philosophy. And that is where he's going to see our children. He's going to see them through the same eyes. He said, God will provide. He continued to move forward, graduated from high school, went to Cottington. And you know what? Because he was looking out for people, he decided to pursue a career, not just for his own academic satisfaction or financial one. He pursued a career that will be of help to the masses, the same way in which we just read that Councillor said Tiawan Gongloe has been the person that has represented the masses, the voiceless most. He sought to do environmental science and resources. And from there, he extended it to political ecology. He did not only stay there, went to the United States, where he pursued his education at a Wisconsin University, graduated with a PhD. I'll be content to get a PhD and then just sit in my comfort zone, right? He did not do that. Returned to Liberia. He loved Liberia so much, wants to give back, wants this great nation to be seen, the better Liberia we are promoting today. He went to Liberia. And if you track his record, we are talking about tracking of record here. These two great sons of Liberia. He continued in non-governmental organizations, still representing the Liberian people. He went to schools, dilapidated buildings that no one felt was ever going to be of any use. He began to promote, to bring it to life in order for students to learn. Believe in education. He is going to see himself, seeing your children through what he's able to do. Now, let's look at where we are today. We are talking about what Liberia needs the most.
Wait, just a minute before you go on.
Yes.
Folks there in Focus on Liberia Land, we are bringing to you a fundraiser for Tiawan Gongloe, presidential candidate contesting this election in October 10th, 2023. And with us, we have the campaign team that's trying to do some fundraising to back their candidate. Please go on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eastman, for giving me that opportunity to talk more about the fundraiser program that we have this evening for Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo, both serving as presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate in Liberia for the October 10, 2023 elections, as you rightly said. Now, presenting all of these men, the characteristics that they have, linking it with a great nation characteristic, we see where Liberia is today. Liberia is in a state where she's in the intensive care. This is the resuscitation period. Liberia has to be revived. Liberia has to experience that great nationhood that we just talked about. And we just presented to you Dr. Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo in order for you to make a choice for Liberia to become a great nation. Now, what I would like to say to you at this final point for now, before I can stop what I'm saying, is that I present to you Liberia, I present a treasure to you. Again, I present to you Liberia, I present a treasure. It's a crucial moment in the life of our nation. Accept this treasure and experience the great nationhood that we just talked about, to have justice in the nation, which is needed so much in Liberia at this time. Freedom, which is needed so much in Liberia at this time. You can speak out for what is right. You can speak out for what our children need. You can speak out for what others need. You can speak out for what the nation needs as a whole. Another thing that you can have by accepting this treasure is the value of life. Life is so precious that you cannot just wake up every time and see bodies all over, lifeless bodies, lives taken away. That's not what we envision for Liberia. Accept the treasure that we bring to you today. Morality is another thing that you are going to have in this great nation. In this nation that you accept today by making a decision, by accepting the treasure, you are going to have excellence. Excellence in things that are been done. In governance. There are many other things that you can have. Of course, stewardship. I present to you Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo as a vice presidential candidate for Liberia, and Councillor Tiawan Gongloe as the presidential candidate for the United People's Party. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you, Liberia.
Excellent.
Better Liberia, better Liberia, better Liberia, better Liberia.
Hey, Umoga.
Eh?
What do you be just talking to yourself now?
Hey, Tiwa, I'm talking about better Liberia. A better Liberia is possible. A better Liberia where there will be no suffering.
Whoa, better Liberia where we're all suffering?
Yes, Tiwa. A better Liberia is possible under the Gongloe and Yarkparwolo ticket.
You tell me what is Tiawan Gongloe and Yarkparwolo will do to make Liberia better?
Tiwa, you made me laugh. Tiawan Gongloe and Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. They say when you vote for them for president and vice president, they will develop Liberia. They will develop Liberia and they will do plenty things for Liberia.
Whoa.
Number one.
Number one.
They will make sure plenty people in Liberia will get job. And they will get a pay every month. Number two.
Number two.
They will make sure all people, pregnant women, children, they will go to the hospital and get good treatment. And plenty medicine will be in the hospital. That when people get sick, when they go there, so they can be treated good.
Whoa.
Number three.
Number three.
Tiawan Gongloe and Yarkparwolo say public work compound will be in all the county, and they will make sure that they will face the road, and the mud business all on the road will finish. That's a good thing there.
That's good thing.
Number four.
Number four.
Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo say they will make sure they support all the farmers in Liberia. They will support them with machines. And they will make sure that they produce plenty rice in Liberia for us. And the army people will also join them and produce rice in Liberia and make sure they produce plenty rice for our citizens. Number five.
Number five.
Number five.
Number five.
School fee. School fee. Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo say from ABC to 12th grade, the school fee will be free for all government schools. And all the teachers will be paid. And all volunteer teachers will get on government payroll. No more volunteer teacher business.
So that all the things Councillor Gongloe and Yarkparwolo will do there?
Mantewa? No. Let me tell you more. Councillor Gongloe and Yarkparwolo, they get plenty things to do for Liberia.
Tell me more. I want to know. Tell me, I want to hear more.
Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo say, when you vote for them for president and vice president, there will be no Hamen business in Liberia. Hamen will run away. Feke. Anybody who do Hamen business and kill human being, they will use the law to kill that person.
That's the right thing there.
Number seven. Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo say when you vote for them to become president and vice president, there will be no Zogo business in Liberia. They will
Oh.
make sure all the people that begin to buy drugs in the country, they will go after them and make sure the people stop to it. That's not good news there.
That's good news.
So, Mantewa, there are plenty things that Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo and the Liberian People Party will do to make Liberia better. So, let's stop here and we'll come back another day. I will still tell you more.
Yeah, we more God. Before you go, let me just ask you one question.
Ask a question, Tiwa. When it comes to the Liberian People Party and Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo business, I can't get tired. You even want for us to spend the whole day here, we'll spend the whole day here. Ask your question.
Woman God,
Yes, man.
we come to go for election October 10.
Yeah.
We will be voting for people we like. Our president, our vice president, our senator, and our representative. How we will know Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo and the Liberian People Party?
Good. It's easy. You only need to know the clothes they having on and the broom they having in their hand.
Oh.
Only Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo having the same traditional clothes and hat. And the color are the Liberian flag color, red, white, and blue. And Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo, when you check it from up coming down, they are number 6 on the ballot paper.
Oh.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have some outstanding young Liberian men ready to take on leadership in our beloved country. Now, Miss Anna, are you going to introduce Dr. Ure?
Introduction of Dr. Ure was mainly a combination with in.
Okay. All right. Then without further delay.
If we need individual one, yes, we can.
Okay. Without further delay, I'm going to ask Dennis Coty, please provide a detailed summary of the fundraiser and where you want the people to donate.
Brother Eastman, may I come in for a second? I think we kind of maybe we should spend a little time prior to this program to organize things a little better. Our organization is kind of moving out of sync. Let's put it the right way. We've done the introduction, and that's great. And thank you, Mrs. Haba. But we'd like to have what we have formally, organized, which is I should introduce the program. We've actually taken number 2 to be number 1, and Mr. Coty will be number 3. So if you don't mind, may I do that?
That's why I just asked you. Please.
Okay. No, you are calling Coty. Thank you. Okay. So
y'all changed it around. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's what we did. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Anthony Conan. I'm with Friends of Councillor Gongloe. With me here today in studio are Mrs. Haba, whom you heard so eloquently, Mr. Dennis Coty, and then we have thrones of members who are out and who have been dying to log in and to watch the show, to watch this program. Of course, our esteemed Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo, who's here with us. I want to begin first, Mr. Eastman, that our organization is not really a leadership organization, as we are a team-type leadership organization. That on behalf of our team, I'd like to extend our thanks and appreciation to FOL for granting us your platform to be here today and to have this event. So from the bottom of our hearts, we really, really appreciate that and the opportunity. I'd like to let you know, and our members as well as the viewing audience know that this event is in twofold. First, it is first and foremost a fundraising program, and number 2 is an awareness campaign to introduce our VP to the audience in the United States and as well as the wider audience in Liberia. So I want to begin by first stating here.
Let me hold you a little bit, Mr. Cornet, please. Could you move back a little bit so we can see your whole face?
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yes,
Oh, you like
thank
to
you.
see my face?
Yes, we wanted to see the man talking to us. Thank you.
Little face here, Olo. Okay. So it's a twofold event. It's a fundraiser by Friends of Council Gongloe for the Gongloe Yarkparwolo team, as well as an awareness campaign of really making the public, the Liberian diaspora, as well as the Liberian voting public, aware of these two actual gems that we have. And we're glad that you provided us that opportunity. So first, our fundraiser is done at this number, 201-737-7452. That's our Cash App and our Zelle account numbers. Those account numbers are open right now. Please send in your generous contribution to those accounts. We have our financial team that's at the ready, and they're going to receive those amounts. They're going to tally them, and when Mr. Koti comes on, he's going to discuss some actual brilliant awards that individuals who give generously to this cause for.
Please repeat that number for us.
Okay, it is 201. I'd love to repeat that multiple times. 201-737-7452. 201.
So that is a 5-2, because from my understanding, what John Gongloe is giving the last digit as a 3.
No.
Give it as a 2. That's an error. Very good. Okay, listen carefully, audience.
201-737-7452. Okay, that's our Zelle and our Cash App number. So no matter what you do today, whatever you have, we'll take it. And why are we doing this? And I think you all listened to the very excellent presentation by our sister and mother, Mrs. Haba, about these two wonderful gems that Liberia has. I remember years ago doing a story in one of my sales classes called Acres of Diamond. Everyone has his or her acres of diamond. Liberia has its acres of diamond, but Liberia is yet to find it. So we've come here to introduce our acres of diamond. We've got a diamond right in our backyard that we want Liberia to embrace and Liberia to accept and Liberia to elect. So the purpose of this event is because this is a grassroots campaign. As you know, and as our members and viewing public know, that we're not a ruling party. Neither were we a party that was in power, that had bagmans, people who are beholden to, who want certain contracts or certain concession agreements, who are giving them millions to run their campaigns. Neither are we the government in power that also has state assets, the national treasury that has been illegally used to buy over 200 brand new vehicles, 400 brand new motorbikes, where 50,000 Liberian dollars are being given across the country to individuals to buy their votes. So we don't have that. However, what we have is our grassroots ability. So this campaign is a grassroots campaign of ordinary individuals who work hard every day and play by the rules, and who take from their low meager salaries to contribute, and that's what has brought this team thus this far. So we're here because we know there are other well-meaning Liberians and well-meaning individuals out there who want a better Liberia. And I really must say this to our youth, because sometimes I hear this thing about first-time voters in Liberia. I am from the old school. I am proud of my age. I proudly announce when I was born. I was born in 1958. And I grew up in a Liberia where the indigenous did not participate fully in the politics of the land. However, that Liberia had a functional government. All ministries worked. All branches of government functioned. I would tell our Southeasterners, whom I was pitifully looking at a YouTube video about the deplorable road from Cyclopea all the way to Harper, Maryland last night. That when I was growing up as a kid in the 1960s and the early 70s, and our first-time voters and all those who now are the majority of voters in Liberia, born in the 1980s, do know this, that you could go to a car parking station, get on a car, and you arrive in Harper the same day. That was Liberia. So the Liberia you see today is not what Liberia used to be. Liberia has had better Liberia. The difference was the indigenous did not control the politics of the country. There was a Liberia where a message will be sent via telex to my hometown of Tapata. It will be recorded in the telex tap, and a messenger will put in an envelope and find our little village 10 miles out of town, and they will walk there and deliver that message that your brother in the U.S. wants you to call him tomorrow at this time. There was the Liberia where if you were ill, you went to a government clinic and you were diagnosed and you got full treatment. There was a Liberia where we had decent schools. So many of our voting folks in Liberia today are of the generation of the war years and prior to that in the 1980s. But we need to remind them that Liberia, yes, indeed, can be better than that. And there has been periods when there was a better Liberia, a functional Liberia, where everybody went to work. If you worked for the ministries, you worked. You didn't just show up and sign in and then disappeared. Everybody got paid on time. I lived here in the United States during those times for 10 years and never got a single request for assistance from any relative in Liberia. So there were those times. There were those times where the Ministry of Public Works was not a bunch of individuals sitting there in the yard, 500 just sit there all day and then went home and got paid. They have public works stations all along the gravel road all the way to Harper. There was one right in my hometown of Tapata that during this rainy season, you could drive 90, 100 miles per hour on that road. So what happened? What went wrong? What happened? Yes, we can blame the war, but we have had the opportunities to correct many of these things that were damaged during the war. And I have to remind our listeners of this fact. There are those who say, well, the government now is doing this, and let's look at the other people who were there yesterday. But guess what? They're all the same. The fact is they're all the same. The same individuals being recycled to come back and loot Liberia even more. Is that what Liberia won? What do we want? Do you remember 6 years ago when Ellen's last days, or 7 years ago, 8 years ago, what Liberia looked like? By the way, my Cash App number, 201-737-7452. My Zelle number, 201-737-7452. But just remember 6, 7 years ago, there was nothing different than what is happening now. The ruling party of the time, which is trying to come back to power, actually set the stage for the inept, the corruption, the nepotism, the failures that is bearing Liberia to a failed state. They set that stage up. They set those exorbitant salaries up. They have representatives and senators making more than the United States representatives and senators. A country that is down at number 180 out of 190 countries in the world. So are you telling me that these people are the ones now who are going to be the rescuer? Really? So I want to remind Liberia that there is a better option. And the better option is Gongloe, the Gongloe Yarkparwolo team from LPP. These are dedicated individuals. They will not seek to loot your country. They have demonstrated that in their lives. Their history is replete with that, as narrated by Mrs. Harvard. So Liberia, do you have an option? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Going back to just 7 years ago, remember, and these are the ones you want to come and give them state power to replace what is currently broken. It is just a changing of the guards. Nothing will change. Same old players. And guess what? They're there for the retirement money. Liberia can do better. And Councillor Gongloe and Dr. Yarkparwolo will provide that leadership. And please join us. Join us on this historic crusade. We can set this hurricane. We can release this hurricane of good governance, of actual democracy across Africa. And we will again take that rightful place as the beacon of hope for Black people, for the Negro. And by our evidence and by our votes and our decision on October 10th, we can bring a lot of change to Liberia. So, ladies and gentlemen, please support us, support this cause. Again, please donate to our cause, 201-737-7452. That's our Cash App, 201-737-7452. That's our Zelle. And please enjoy the show. These numbers will be available beyond this show. And again, contribute in any way, either here locally or in Liberia. And let's change our country. Let's change.
We cry for peace. Perfect peace. Lord, we cry for love.
My people, our country Liberia got free way back, even before Charlie King time. It was in 1847. The reason why our people fought so hard for this freedom was to make our country develop with good buildings, schools, and self-drinking water. To grow plenty of food, making everybody to live in Google houses, and for every part of Liberia to have quota roads and communication system. Liberia was supposed to be a place of equal rights and equal chances for learning and plenty of jobs for everybody. It is wrong for only the people with plenty of money and the people in big positions to enjoy all these Google things. It was for everybody's enjoyment and peace and freedom for all of us. We say the love of liberty brought us here. But since we put our country together about 176 years ago, we still not getting all these Google things. That is because our leaders then corrupt, that why they're not used to catching people who steal from our country, yeah? This is making all of us with our children them to suffer. This kind of bad thing and make Liberia a special case. So this means Liberia is a serious problem, yeah? So just like a case in court, when you get a serious problem, then you need a good lawyer to fight and win the case. My people, we the Liberian people got serious cases of plenty sitting in government, so we need a good lawyer to fight for all of us to win our case against all the bad things in government to make our country better. the best lawyer, and medicine for all the Baba things in government, that Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. Yes, so he's the best
in democracy in Africa. Donate
Very
to
good. Ladies and
201
gentlemen.
737-7452. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're coming to you from the Tiawan Gongloe and Yarkparwolo team in their bid for the 2023 presidential elections for president and vice president. Any views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the team are solely that of the team and do not reflect the views, opinions, policies, position of Focus on Liberia. Excellent. So now, without any further delay, we will ask Mr. Dennis Koti to give us more background on this this fundraiser. Mr. Koti?
Can you guys see me?
Yes. Are you frozen?
Yes,
Oh,
we do.
okay. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Liberia, for everything that you are doing
Wait,
today.
hold it. You're on twice. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Or now, I'm one now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Focus on Liberia, for what you are doing for us today. And I want to thank all of our panelists here for what they are doing as well. I want to also thank our distinguished guest that is on the platform with us, that Emmanuel Yarkparwolo, for his appearance here today with us. I want to thank all of our audience for being with us. We want you to be patient with us. I don't know, I'm getting echoed. I'm hearing myself.
It could be because you need to log out of one of those sessions.
Okay, let me see. If I do that, when I get out, I will come right back.
Yes, go ahead. I will let you back in. Anyway, as we wait for Mr. Koti to come back in, I see look like he's got two devices. He's logged out of one, but one of them apparently is still there.
I can speak to the fundraiser if you don't mind.
Yeah. No. But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we go to the fundraiser, like I told you, I know Comrade Gongloe from college, and he was one of a very astute student of economics.
Right.
We all were studying economics at the time at the university. What are his economic policies? Maybe Dr. Yarkparwolo can speak to that. What will be the economic policies of the Gongloe Yarkparwolo administration?
Maybe can we do this for our esteemed VP, because after he presents himself,
yes,
I think it will be great for him now to begin to answer questions, and
okay,
he has not really presented himself.
Okay,
so we can come in and do that. I'll tell you this: one of them is the Liberianization program. Okay. Now, my brother Eastman, we live in our Liberia as almost second and third class citizens, right? From the time you and I were kids, we see the Lebanese, the Indians, and the foreigners, they run all of the major industries. I understand those things require funding, but government has to make room available for Liberian entrepreneurs to be able to engage in those businesses. And there has to be some set of protection for certain line of Liberian businesses. Many of us have traveled in various West African countries, and they have some nationalization programs when it comes to businesses. I happen to have gone to the country of Guinea, and I tried to open a bank account, I was denied. If you try to open a business, you're denied. In Ghana, as a Liberian, you cannot open a business unless you have a Ghanaian partner who actually the lead partner. Okay. We also don't have favorable loan terms for Liberian businesses. So there has to be an effort by the Liberian government that protects Liberian, that creates a category of Liberian-owned businesses. Okay? And mind you, something else that is extremely also very sad in connection to that. There are thousands of Liberian women who pitifully pay expensive, exorbitant airfares or road fares to leave from Liberia and buy their markets in Freetown, in Conakry, in Ghana, in Lomé, and Nigeria. And then truck those things back to sell. And then guess what? We almost granted duty-free privileges to the Chinese, and now they've opened China Mall, right? So if you brought your goods from China and you want to sell it for $2, the Chinese is selling it at China Mall through his duty-free entry for maybe $1. So there has to be serious Liberianization program. There has to be emphasis on, again, corruption has to, I mean, Dr. Yarkparwolo will speak to it, but I love one of his examples at his acceptance speech in Banga, where he actually narrowed it down to a cola nut, where 90% of it is bitten up by the ruling elite, and the other 10% is left for the rest of us, right? So that money has to be reversed. The 90% now can allow us to begin to build our infrastructure. I would love to take a car again from Monrovia and get to Kipama the same day. I would love to get to my beloved Tapita in 4 hours, which I did in the 1960s and the 1970s. And all Liberians should have access to good primary roads and secondary roads, and good school systems, medical care. And by the way, they have pledged that you elect them, they will not leave Liberia for medical care. Now you tell me, those guys, you guys are toying with their Liberia. Is any of them willing to do that? Who leaves and go out of the country every week or 2 weeks for medical care? Will they make that pledge that I will attend medical care in Liberia, I'll go to JFK and get my medical care? But our candidates do. They cannot. That means they are going to put every effort and dollar in ensuring that our medical system, care system, is brought up to standard. Because if it's not good for anybody else, it's not good for them as well. And plus many more. We can talk a lot, but Mr. Kuti is back.
Yeah, just before Mr. Gongloe, ladies and gentlemen, what you see flashing on the screen is the number to donate, but the last number is a 2. So that's 201-737-7452. We will be taking that down. Remember, it's 201-737-7452. Thank you very much. Mr. Kuti, are you with us again?
Yes, I am here. Are you getting me now? I think I'm good now.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Well, I started by thanking all of you for your presence here, and most especially our audience. We want to thank you people for being ready to listen to us. The idea of fundraising, as you guys know, in Liberia politics, the candidates, most of the time, people make them to be responsible for raising funds by themselves. But this one is different. The character of the presidential candidate that we have, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, has been an advocate for good governance throughout his life. And for that, he had laid his career on the line for people who fight government for wrongdoing. You know, and most of those people that they place behind bar for those kind of reasons, he voluntarily gets out there and makes sure that they are out because they didn't do anything wrong against the state. And this had led him the opportunity, some other advocates across the world had some conversation. During the time of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we saw protests and other things going on against government for bad governance, some of which happened at GW Gayson attack on students. We saw even this current government, we have witnessed a lot of protests in the street. Some of the protests have to do with salary delay or no salary, etc. The list goes on. For us, we are not ready to put people in the street to protest. Our protest is our candidate. We made series of research on this candidate during Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time when we saw that bad governance was taking place. We made series of research on him, and we found that he's one of the most outstanding leaders in the country. And so we decided to get him. And most especially when he announced his candidacy, we embrace it. We promise that we have to make sure that we raise the fund. You know, like elections everywhere cost huge money. In Liberia's case, it's even worse, where everybody depends on the candidate to raise or to have their own money to run their campaign. But to make things worse, the government uses our resources to run their own campaign, and nobody talks about it. This time around, we want to change everything. And so we are asking you, our donors, to come for our aid. The only way we can win this election is to make sure that we raise the needed funds to be able to use it to run around. Let me tell you one crime that Councillor Gongloe had committed in Liberia. He does not have money. That's a crime that he's being charged with all across Liberia. Anywhere you go, oh yeah, that man is a good candidate, but he does not have money. Oh, he is not pulling crowd here and there. See what's behind the crowd. Some of these crowds, they pay them, they pick them from places to carry them. But whoever you see behind Councillor Gongloe are people who want better Liberia. So we want you to join us to be able, whatever you gave us, we cannot pay you back, but we have some other awards. We have the first $200. People who will give the first $200 here will give you 3 nights of hotel free in Las Vegas. That means if you fly to Las Vegas, you need a hotel there, just contact us. But we will make sure that these things of this amount will be announced here so that we can know how many people did that. I don't care, it can be 50 people, 100 people that pay the first $200. We are going to make sure that we secure that for you. We are not only stopping there. What about Cancun? If you want to pay or to take vacation to Cancun, we are going to give you 3 to 5 nights of hotel bill. We will pay for you. Those who are far away who want to take vacation to Dubai, we can also help you with your hotel bill there. $500, if you can pay up to $500, at least the first group of people who pay $500 to this fundraiser, we are going to secure that for you. So it's free, but it's just not free. We want you to also think about this. We want you to think Liberia. We want you to think about the ritualistic killing that going on all across the country. We want you to think about the corruption, uncontrollable. Corruption is now uncontrollable in Liberia. Nobody can control corruption. And the lawlessness all across the country. The only people that we feel strongly that can solve this problem, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe and Dr. Emmanuel Yarkparwolo. We are asking you to donate to us for their campaigns. Come on board, help us. We want a better Liberia, a Liberia where there will be no more jacking of purse of all funds, cell phone from your pocket. while you're passing in the street. We want a Liberia, if you are care about a Liberia that is free of corruption, because it is a corruption that carrying the country for people to be that poor and start misbehaving. We want good education in Liberia. We want your children to go to school free of charge. It is the right for government to provide all those services for people. It is a right. It's not a privilege. We want government that will provide those for you. Come on board. Give us your penny. We will work. We will work hard and we'll make sure that we secure these things for you. Look, I don't know how you feel, but I feel when Councillor Gongloe takes over, the lawlessness will stop. Government, if you see people going in the street protesting for this and protesting for that, that means that government is not right. It's not a government for the people. We have democracy in Liberia. Government, those of you who are continuing to say, oh, we are second term, let me turn to you people. You know what? Not all government is, or the constitution did not provide that every president that goes in power must stay there for 2 terms. Okay? When they are not doing good for the people, it is clear that we change them. This is what democracy is for. So we want you to come on board. Give us your penny, we will work for you. If you get $10, $20, we are not saying that we are not going to accept that, but we want the first group of $200 people, they will be giving some special award. Those who will pay $500, we will also give you some special award, just to encourage you that your money is not free. We also have people who have been donating. Let me tell you our targets in the first place. We are targeting $100,000. Okay. We were people that were motivated, and we gathered ourselves together to say, hey, look, this campaign is a campaign that we must work for. And so we targeted $100,000. Out of that $100,000, we have already raised at least 20% of the $100,000. The balance, 80%, we are relying on you. And any penny you pay here, if you are in that group, we are going to add it to whatever you are paid in the chat room, or whatever you are paid to that group, we are going to add it to it. So we want to remind you of all of these things. We get bad governance in Liberia. Do you want your children to steal, or do you want for day to break in the morning? You start seeing a dead body in the street. Your relative, it might be your relative, it might be your child. Those that are dying, they might be your child, your parent, or they might be somebody who will do something better for the country tomorrow. Okay, when we was coming into power, all of us supported him. We felt that, okay, you know what, since this man was playing soccer was going to be elevated for our youth. But look, today, we are the least in West Africa. We want you to come on board to support us so that you can have some of these provisions. Those are the plans that are in the making for our candidate, or for you from our candidate. We want you to support us. Just, $5, $10, we take any amount that you donate to us here. And the number is right there on the screen, 201-737-7452. That's the number to send your cash up to. If you get 0, send it there. If you have doubt, call any of us. We want you to come on board and support Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He is the only candidate so far that stands up against all these odds for the country. You saw when, I don't want to go negative, but you saw when the other candidates got their vice presidential candidates and so forth, see in the Senate, see in the House of Representatives, what they did, they divided themselves among the various candidates. Do you know what they're doing there? They want the status quo to continue. We don't want it to continue. We're standing up for you. The same advocacy that Councillor Gongloe has been on from day one is the advocacy that he's going to be on. You want somebody to represent you who will speak for you, who will speak for you across the country, who will protect your resources, your natural resources, is going gradually. And it is only going in few people's pocket. And this is exactly what the senators and the representatives that are in power today want you to follow them so that they can do the same thing. We want to change it. Pay your $100, $200, whatever you pay here, it will be accounted for. We want to thank you for being on the show with us. But we will continue to remind you that bad governance is in Liberia, and we want to change the narrative. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe wants to change his narrative. Character-wise, he has been one of those. Anyway, I don't know about any other person, but he has been a person who, when he worked in government, if they gave him penny to travel on behalf of government anywhere in the world, when he spends a dime, he will account for it, he will come back. If money that was given to him was not spent on the trip, he will bring back that money and give it to government. This is the character that we are talking about, the most honest character in the elections. We know some of you have taken sat somewhere, oh, this person is my relative, or this person is this, or this person is the only person that's doing this. But I tell you, Councillor Gongloe is the best. Let us all fight for him. Put your money in, and you will gain more at the end of the day. After October 10th.
Who is this poor man? Hey, yeah, my people. Who this poor man lawyer and poor man is?
Oh, you never hear? He is Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, TSG. TSG was born onto the union of a man from Niba County and a woman from Bon County. The meaning of his name shows his entire life. That is why he is changing the lives of so many people in a good way. His first name, Tiawan, means a child who does not have a mother and a father. But this child is like a seed no one can break because the seed is so protected. His middle name, Say, means the firstborn child within the family in the Mano culture. Usually, in the African tradition, the firstborn child is usually the destiny or heir apparent in succession to pick up the mantle of leadership in the family or kingdom should the father or head of the family or kingdom be impaired or deceased. Even though the grown man will not be the firstborn child of Liberia to serve as the president of Liberia if elected. However, he will be the first to begin to right the wrong by moving back the current governance structure, which allows the president and other leaders in government to act like they are small gods in Liberia. The poor man.
There you have it. The team Gongloe has presented you with the reason that you should support their candidate. And the number has been flashing across the screen, and 201-737-7452. Would the team like to add something else? Hello?
Well, if nobody wants to add, I can still add more.
I think because of time, there may be some time.
Okay.
Well, so that we don't take out of the time. I think it'll be important at some point. Yes.
Okay, so but we have a few more minutes that we can spare if you want to get the message across, right?
Yeah, may I just
go ahead.
Yeah, may I just come in? Our VP, I know.
I think I'll pick up from here. Because I don't want to keep sitting for too long, because I think people are willing to hear also from me on the show. So I think it's important. Let me come in and say a few words. I will not be long. But first, friends of Gongloe, and thank you for organizing this fundraiser event and focus on Africa as a independent media institution, for allowing us to do this. We say thank you very much. I want to be brief in terms of, and thank you, Madam, for the wonderful introduction. I want to tell Liberians right now who are watching and who will watch the show later, why is it important that they donate to this campaign? And I'm doing that under the title Liberia, a dream yet to be fulfilled, and how you can help to fulfill that dream. Liberia is a dream, and that dream has not come to fruition. And tonight, what we're doing here, when you donate to the cash app number that is showing online and the Zelle number, you're going to be helping to fulfill Liberia dream. In 1847, when black men was considered to be inferior to white race, Liberia raised a flag in Africa to proclaim to the rest of the world that it is a country, an independent nation, giving black Africa, the dark continent as it was called, a hope. But that young nation faced so many problems. There was problems of European annexation of Liberia. There were problems of self-governance. There were problems of small government, small American Liberian versus indigenous. There were just a bunch of problems. However, in the 1950s, Liberia would lead the independent African movement. When Liberia failed politically, even there was a point to institute a lawsuit. She did not hesitate. And so Liberia had been the touch of Africa throughout. And so that dream is still there, a political dream, but the economic dream is yet to be fulfilled. That's why the WhatsApp number, the cash app number, and the Zelle number are right there. 201-737-7452. Donate so that we can fulfill the dream. So Liberia led Africa basically to independence. Then the American Liberian government was toppled down in 1980, ending almost 130 years of single-party rule in Liberia. Indigenous got involved. But then division came, tribalism came. And in 1990, a full civil war that destroyed our entire country for about 13, 14 years. Over 250,000 of people lost their life in that war. And then the war ended in 2003. 20 years ago, this country is yet to fulfill a dream of actual redemption of people. Even though Liberia is endowed with everything that God can give to a nation to be a prosperous nation, Liberia is yet to lift its people out of poverty. So tonight is your time. You can help Liberia to achieve a dream. You heard all the speakers. You heard the story of the great counselor who had raised my hand, a village boy who started school at the age of 14, did not know how to read and write, and at the age of 37, he will graduate from the second best university, public university in America. He raised my hand and gave me prominence. I'm humble to help him. He is ready to change the country. Why we still go back to the old days, where when people are in government, they began to reach overnight. Total lack of total accountability. Let me tell you a story, very brief story. This gone 26. In my community, I went giving rice to people, just sharing rice. In the morning, myself, I was doing it. A lady, I gave us rice, and I was going. She said, "You're going on the road." I said, "I'm going on the road." She said, "Now that you give me rice, please drive me on the road. Let me go hustle so I can come cook, because I'm not going to cook today." Can you imagine the independent, the 176 independent of Liberia? A mother was going to go hungry that day. What do you say? Political independence is not independent if your people do not have economic independence.
Oh, yes.
Contribute. We are making headways. We have the quality. The qualities it takes to change Liberia. How do we determine that quality? How do you determine that somebody is good today and somebody is going to be good tomorrow? You look at the person's past life. You study them. You understand them. What are they doing? If they say I'm going to be good tomorrow, they have to be good yesterday. Nobody changed overnight. Council of Gongloe has a plan to transform Liberia. Please, we are begging you. Contribute so that you'll be proud. One day you tell your family, you tell your children that this transformation we're seeing today, we were part of it. You take ownership. Your dollar is in it. Here are the numbers: 201-737-7452, both on Cash App, but also on Zelle. Contribute to Liberia development. We have a plan. Why is it that if God help us with rain and sun and everything, we continue to import our stable food? Doesn't make sense to you that lady that morning will not have the country stable food, rice to eat? Tell me about that. We have a plan so that we're able to be able to produce rice in Liberia. We have a whole set of plans as to how to empower the Minister of Agriculture, how to empower CARI, how to use the military, the agriculture department of the military, so that we become self-sufficient in food production. So tonight is your time. Do not waste time, because the people that we are going against, they are quite serious and determined to keep on the power they have. And so you have to help us to take the power from them, because that power is the one we're going to use to change the country. They have failed miserably. Let me tell you another story, a very short one too. I was running first as a representative candidate in my district. I was going to win that election when I got this call. So I traveled to that district, but I also traveled different part of Liberia. I met a lady at the clinic, and I was trying to explain, I was trying to ask her how the clinic is going. She said to me, "Dad, we are weary. I listened to what you're saying, but I have no hope now." And I said, "Why?" She said, "I'm sitting here, I will see a pregnant woman will come here with a condition that I was trained to solve. I know how to solve a problem, but no material at the clinic, no single drugs here. You've seen that woman going back home, she's likely going to die. And you see that happening before your eyes. So, how can that happen? An independent country. Tonight is your time. We do have a clear policy on how to revamp the healthcare system of Liberia. Older people, free medical care. Pregnant women and children under 5 years, free medical care. Those who in between, affordable medical care, national insurance policy for everybody. We have everything in place. In fact, we have taken that to another level that only one who has a higher standard of moral can go to that level. When we say we don't pray for illness, but when we are ill, we will be treated in Liberia at the government facility. Think about that. Tonight is your time. Help us to achieve the dream. Here are the numbers. The numbers are quite visible. Don't hesitate. Donate. We have volunteers. They are willing to work. They are going out, but the country is high. They are not working. If they are going volunteering, even food, we need to provide it for them. We need to provide transportation to them. It's important for them to get this work going. We need flyers. Our messages are clear. How do we get the message to the entire population so that when you randomly pick any three Liberian items who is considered Gongloe, they will tell you he's running for president. They will say one good thing about him. That is the goal. But we can't do that all by ourselves. Again, as honest person living in Liberia through all his life, as a lawyer, he would have chosen the route like other lawyers have always done, pleading cases for the companies and enrich himself. No, but he took on the alternative, speaking for poor people, speaking for workers when they are being disadvantaged, free of charge. So one cannot be doing that. You expect him to get a lot of money, but he has the willpower. So help Liberia. How can we create jobs? Why is it that we will cut our log and take the whole log and ship to Europe? Can we not have plywood industry? Can we to be able to make molding furniture in Liberia? Is that not possible to be able to create jobs and export molding furniture out of Liberia? Oh, my people, please, tonight is your time. These are possibilities. How about education? Why is it that for 176 years we are not educated? Why? We also have a solution. We say in 2 years we eliminate illiteracy rate in Liberia. One side, this is too ambitious. How are you going to do that? It's not too ambitious. It's doable. How we do it? We say high school student, smart student, university student, Take 10% in your community. Teach them. We get a curriculum. We work with the expert to develop the adult literacy curriculum. Teach any 10%, you'll be paid for your work. And every 2 or 3 months or so, your students will be evaluated to see their performance. That job creation. When we do that, our mothers who are working in the marketplaces, they will know how to read and write. That is important to our democracy. So tell me, why will you not help for us to move Liberia forward? The problem, in fact, the problem that have caused us to be this way, that we have political independence, we don't have economic independence, is corruption. Is ingrained kind of corruption that people are so, government has become so corrupt in the place of wealth creation that people will waste blood to get there. They will sacrifice. We call them men. They want to take human parts because they got to get in government at all costs. This is not the purpose of government. Government was not established to be able to say this is a place we can go to enrich ourselves. So if corruption had become a culture in Liberia, we got to use extraordinary approach to get rid of corruption. And he who has dirty hands cannot be for another person. The numbers are right here. Can you contribute? Help us. When we use our broom to say that we're using the broom as a form of unity, we unify the country, because each straw in the broom can be broken, but when you pull everything together, it's difficult to break. We unify the country. In that unity, we institute total accountability. Each straw of the broom is accountable to the other one. One straw of the broom cannot consume the country resources, while the rest of the straws are suffering, as we're seeing it today. The numbers are there. Contribute. So we say we get in government, we audit past government, and those who are implicated in audit report to face justice and go to jail. Their properties are seized and turned over to the Liberian government as a symbol that we're breaking the chains of impunity in Liberia. What do you want us to tell you? We say we'll do it because we have history of doing these things. We are not just telling you anything like a blank check. No. We say lifestyle audit. You in our administration, every 3 months or so, we're going to check how much you're making, what kind of structure you're building, and where the money coming from. It's important to do so. We want to make sure that government is a place to serve, not the place to steal. We want to make sure those who want to earn millions of dollars and want to have mansions built, let them take the private sector. Go to the private sector. There where people make money, because we create the enabling environment for people to thrive in the private sector. When you are coming in government, be prepared to serve the people. The essence of government is not a place of arrangement. And if the philosophy is that way, the country will not gain economic independence. It has political independence in 1847. We haven't been able to get economic independence. We are here to give you that. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, there are more that we can talk about, but you see the numbers right there. Help us. Can we win this election? Clearly, we can win this election. You know, the call for 4 vice presidential debate. We attended 3. The reason why we did not attend the last one, because we were already in the US and the internet connectivities could not allow us to do that. But those debates we dominated. Our colleagues who were supposed to come and tell the Liberian people what they're going to do, they refused. Those on the other side, what are ruling, what are other opposition, and, you know, if you're taking the first 4 top political parties in Liberia, only I alone attended the debate. Even the 4th one, they did not attend. They did not attend the debate to tell the Liberian people what they would do and for the Liberian people to ask them questions. These are not trustworthy people. You don't buy pig in bag. The presidency and the vice presidency is a huge responsibility. You don't go there and say, I will not be accountable. I will not tell you what I'm going to do. You will not give me question. I will just come and share money on you, $20, this, that, $40. You come and vote for me. Oh my, can $40, $20 serve you for 6 years? You did that many times, the result has been no. So the numbers are on the screen. We're asking you to support us. We are here and will continue to be here. The councillor traveled to more than 325 towns across Liberia. Our messages are resonating. Our voters are silent. There are people who in the civil service who are going to vote for us. They told us on a cover their salary was slashed down so severely without any benefit. They don't have health insurance, nothing. We have a package for them. So they're going to vote us. So if you're doubting our ability to win the presidency, you might be joking. Because from where we came from to where we are today, you look at Councillor's life, where he came from, where he is today. You look at my own life, where I came from, where am I today. You cannot doubt the word of God. Ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are on the board. Without further ado, I say thank you very much. We are here. We can always add additional information. But those who are cabinet one will not share with you. Go ahead and donate. Help the campaign. Oh, the last one. Liberia in the diaspora. Let me just say this in a few seconds. How many times you get called every week for problems in Liberia that you have to solve? School fees, somebody ill, somebody going to visit, or food, all kinds of family problems. As Africans, as Liberians, we are wired through a standard family relationship. So it's incumbent upon us when we help. But sometimes we are stressed so much. Those of you in the diaspora, you are stressed so much. Why is it? Because the economic situation in Liberia is bad and your people are suffering. And because of that, they have to rely on you. And you got to take the extra hours to work. You can't rest because you are obligated. That's our culture to help them. But if Councillor Gongloe and I can transform the economic situation in Liberia, where young people are working, where your family members are able to earn, and the rest of it, the burden will drop on you. You'll be a little bit free. And so that's why if you donate to this campaign, you are also donating to yourself. You are investing in yourself in the way that you will gain dividend in the future. The numbers are on the board. 201-737-7452. Cash App as well as Zelle. If you have any additional information, Dennis' quoting number is down the line. You can also call any of the organizers and they will be able to help you with further detail. Thank you very much.
Let me ask the team before we, if someone had a cash donation, perhaps they didn't have an app to use, how could they make that cash or check donation?
Cash or check donation. If anybody has cash or check donation, I can give you, oh God, I don't have my own account number here. If you can drop it in my account, I will still take it.
Do you have an address that they can mail it to?
Okay. Brother Anthony.
Is Anthony still on?
Yeah, he's in the background.
Oh, okay. Well, Brother Anthony will be able to provide that information. Or if anybody has check to donate or cash or to send it to an address, Anthony will be able to give that. He's coming in. But the Cash App and Zelle, just in case you're looking for the name that will appear when you're using the Cash App or something, the name is Dawula Kwekapo. It's a very difficult name. It's a very strange name, so nobody will easily get it. It's Dawula. That's spelled D as in David, A as in Apple, H as in hotel, W as in whiskey, U as in umbrella, L as in Lima, and A as in Anthony. That's the first name. Kwekapo we spell Q as in Queen, U as in umbrella, O as in Oscar, I as in India, K as in kilo, A as in apple, P as in Paul, O as in orange, R as in Richard. Da Wula Koikapo. That's the name that will appear, just in case.
I've just posted it right now also, if we can.
Okay,
may I also just add this as well? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The address, we're looking for address that people will send.
That's okay. The very number that is the Cash App and Zelle number is a live number. There's an individual back there. So you call that number, that person will give you all the instructions that a cash donor or check donor needs. Mr. Kwekapo is right there at that number, and he will answer your question and he will direct you on exactly how to make that donation. So again, call us 201-737-7452, which is also our Cash App and our Zelle number. And I just like to add this. I know our viewers and others may have questions for our esteemed Vice President. But I want Liberians to think about this. We all know this old biblical story of Jesus and, creating, I think out of, I don't know what it was, I don't know what Sea of Galilee, where he was able to create just so much or just gather so much fish that the entire hungry population have fish to eat. So here is my thing to Liberians. What do you prefer? Do you prefer bad roads? Your kids are dying young. Our mortality, meaning how the average age that we can live in Liberia is about 40. That if some of us were in Liberia would have been dead 30 years ago. No decent schools, no medications. Right? And then when election time comes around, people come around and give you shiny T-shirts. And they buy brand new pickups and motorbikes and give you $20 bill. Vote for us. Is that what your life should be? Liberia, I'm talking to you, Liberia. Or do you want opportunity so that you can use who you are, your abilities to grow, prosper, develop, and be whatever you want to be? Our campaign, our candidates seek to empower you to grow and prosper, to be what you want to be, to have the opportunities, to have nothing that holds you back. They are not going to come to you to give you $20 to vote for them after they have failed you for 6 years, or after another group has failed you for 12 years. 12 years, ain't nothing happened. They messed up bad time, bad way we say, right? But then now they're angels. They call themselves rescuer. So I don't know. Y'all tell me now who they're going to rescue. Let somebody tell me. Y'all there in Liberia. Ain't y'all remember Ellen time? Y'all remember, right? The same people won't come back home. They say they rescue her now. They're different. Oh, yeah? A good predictor of current behavior is someone's behavior yesterday. If you stole from me yesterday, then you come back today and say, oh, I reformed now. I don't steal anymore. And I'm going to leave you in my house and leave my door open and go. You Liberians, is that what you want to do? You're going to let the thief to come and take over your house because he's telling you he's reformed. Get rid of the other crook now, the other thief now. Replace me because I have changed. We have changed. We're different now. No. So this is what we're telling you. You have an option. It's not like you don't have an option. You have an option. It does not have to be them. Those two groups have failed Liberia. We are presenting you an option that will take this country forward. And when they take this country forward, I can guarantee you the rest of the world is going to come to Liberia's aid. Foreign investment will flow in. Foreign direct aid will flow in. You know why we have so many NGOs in Liberia? Because they can't even trust your government there with money. So they rather send it to non-governmental agencies for them to do projects and what have you. That's not running a country. That's what you call failed state. Think about it. Your life, your children's life, your grandchildren's life. Don't you want it better? So we deserve better. Donate to us. We don't have stolen money. We don't have the Ministry of Finance. Where, oh, by the way, it is against the law for anybody to be using the Ministry of Finance to run their campaign. It's also against the law to force government workers to go and campaign for a political party that is in office. It is against the law to use Liberian government property to campaign. Government vehicles, government pickups, ministers. Those people don't work for upon we are, they work for the people of Liberia. All those civil servants work for the people of Liberia, not for upon we are, not for CDC. You can't force them to wear CDC uniforms and CDC hats to go and demonstrate against their will. It's against the law. And at some point, that law will be tested. So these are the things that need to change, Liberia. Wake up, Liberia. Wake up.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our fundraiser for tonight has come to an end. There are the numbers still on the screen. The Gongloe team may be back again, but here's the number. You can call them directly, 201-737-7452. It has been a wonderful opportunity for me to be with you as you outline the merits of your campaign and the outstanding attributes of your candidates. I want to wish you the best of luck from the Focus on Liberia, and we wish you to do farewell and come back again as our doors are open. All right, and as we always close with this one song that no matter where your background, no matter, you have something to say?
Just before you close, we don't want people to say that because this program has ended, they cannot donate. Please make sure you continue your donation. Even after this program, we are going to be checking everything, and we still have some award for you. Make sure you continue your donation. After the program, yes, this is just the beginning, but we want you to join with us and donate. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Fundraiser continues.
And may I also say this as well, because our donors, please make sure that our donors are leaving their name and phone numbers as you make your contribution, because once we verify that, that's how we'll be able to give those gifts that you have earned, those hotel stays, whether Las Vegas, Cancun, or Dubai. Okay, so make sure you leave that information because we want to verify your payment, and then we will then send you those awards. And we want to thank you all so much. Please continue to give, even though this platform is going to be over. Our lines will be open. Our Cash App will be open. May you continue to give generously. Let's make history. We believe we can. With you, we know that it is possible. Look at our country today. Is that really the Liberia you want? Is that really the Liberia you want?
I wanted to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Inside, Jimmy, inside the chat, I did put LPP mobile money and username that Pashuko. If you can pin it somewhere down there before we end the show, because some people who watching the show in Liberia requested that, and say that what is, and then
Okay, I think I see it. Hold on, let me see. Let me do that right away.
Yeah. So that's the LPP mobile money in Liberia, and the user is Pasuku. That 231-888-542045. The username on the account is Pasuku, so that people who want to see, who will see the show later in Liberia, if they want to donate outside, they can use that Liberian number as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so for my closing statement, I want to say thank you again, both to friends of Gongloe and Yarkparwolo, as well as FOL, for giving us the opportunity. For those who are listening now and those who will watch later on YouTube, on Facebook, please help to give Liberia its rightful economic independence. That's very important. Without it, the state is fragile. Without, you can have your young people about 20% now on drugs. That is not a good sign. So please help so that we can change the history of Liberia one and for all. And everyone, we humble to be doing this, and we'll work with you, and we will change the history of Liberia, and you all will be part of it, and you'll be proud of it in the future. I want to say thank you for inviting me here tonight, and let's continue the conversation. Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have the mobile money is now on the screen, 231-888-542045. Donate at that number, or you can use the Cash App number that was previously shown. So you have it. You have had a brilliant presentation from Team Gongloe, and its choice is yours. So without further delay, one thing we like to always leave with, the fact that no matter where we come from, we are all Liberians. And with that, we'll close the show.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.